What's up, everybody? I'm Clay, and I do want to say thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for understanding that AI now runs YouTube, so we got to be as careful as possible. It is allowing general discussions about crypto, NFTs, and other digital assets, so please do not interpret this video to be anything other than that. It's not a promise, promotion, suggestion, guarantee, or recommendation of any kind. It is simply you and I talking about the latest crypto news, talking about the latest crypto prices, and of course going over the latest market structures. Now, Shiba Inu coin today, as you can see, is slightly green as it has been hitting these lower highs and lower lows over the last essentially 2 weeks here after a phenomenal start to 2026. But of course, all of the tariff talks, once again, ignited concerns and ignited fears. But it's crazy because all of those tariff talks have already led to negotiations over Greenland. It's already led to a framework deal that is in place, and yet people are so stinking scared. So much so that the recent decline has caused the Fear and Greed Index to be sitting at a level of 34 fear. Guys, we have not been able to escape this fear's grasp over the last essentially full year. 2024's end was great. All of the election speculation drove prices higher. 2025, we started to talk about tariffs, and everybody lost their mind. So here we are pushing forward, and prices have been mixed, and prices have been essentially lower than they were throughout 2025. Let's talk about open interest on Shiba Inu coin, though, because this is a little bit more Shiba Inu coin specific, and I know a lot of you guys own it. It says Shiba Inu coin currently trading around 785 points per coin, consolidating below, which is very important, the 20 and 50-day moving average, exponential moving averages, as derivatives traders return with renewed interest. Now, derivatives traders might be returning, but we're still not seeing the interest return, right? Google Trend Analytics shows Shiba Inu coin and meme coin search volume still near a level of 1, which it can't go any lower unless literally nobody is searching for it out on Google. So do keep that in mind. We still have very, very low interest overall in Shiba Inu coin and in meme coins. Now, I do believe that will change when people get greedy. When they're fearful, they're not willing to buy some of the most risky assets in the space. It says open interest surged 2.11% to 10.85 trillion SHIB, or almost $88 million, signaling speculative positioning after weeks of stagnant price action. An ascending triangle pattern on the 30-minute chart suggests a potential breakout, though the burn rate decline of 34% reflects reduced network activity. And not necessarily, right? The amount of burns aren't at all related to the overall network activity. So if they were a percentage of volume or something, then I could see making that statement. But burns are completely driven by the community. Burns are 100% community effort. So it is very sporadic at times, and because Shiba Inu coin, look, now's the time to burn. When Shiba Inu coin is at its lowest, it's the best to burn. Everybody always wants to buy and burn when prices are hitting all-time highs. So it doesn't necessarily make sense. Now's the time to make moves. Shiba Inu coin's price today trades near 785 points per coin as the derivatives traders begin repositioning after weeks of sideways movement. Open interest has climbed while an ascending triangle pattern emerges on a shorter time frame, creating conditions for potential breakout from the current range. Now, open interest is basically anybody going out there and trading futures. A lot of people do this on leverage. It says derivatives data shows renewed speculative interest. Open interest surged, I don't know if it's necessarily a surge, but 2.11% to 10.85 trillion SHIB, equivalent to about $88 million. The increase indicates that traders are opening new positions rather than sitting on the sidelines. When open interest rises during consolidation, it often precedes directional movement. Traders are placing bets on the next leg, and the buildup creates conditions for volatility once the price breaks out of its trading range. However, futures flows have turned negative over the last 12 hours as well, with a net withdrawal of $251,000 from derivatives contracts. The divergence between rising open interest and declining flows suggests the positioning is shifting, but conviction remains mixed. And I absolutely agree with conviction remaining mixed right now. Look, it takes a very strong-minded person to be willing to buy and accumulate during fear. And that is exactly what I'm doing. And I know a lot of you guys are doing that as well. Why? Everybody else gave up. They're not here, guys. They're not watching the videos. They're not out on X. They're not contributing to the chats. They're not buying anything because they're afraid. And you know, it's very funny when you think about it. Okay? When you really sit down to think about it, they're actually afraid. So much so that they've given up. They've given up on their hopes, right? They've given up on their dreams. They've given up on the notion of achieving that financial freedom. And that's kind of sad.